The Patreon pick this week, as requested by our favorite patron, Slayed by Jay, thank you for the request, was the 2013 film Elysium. And if you also want to get a movie in our raffle just like Slayed by Jay, go to guapish.com/Patreon or patreon.com/Guapish for $1 a month, and we might just watch a movie. I'm going to toss this one over to Nico. Explain this.
Okay, so Elysium is a film all about this place called Elysium that exists up in the fucking sky, okay, up in space, where it's fucking perfect, everything's fantastic there, they have great futuristic technology that the fucking shitty-ass people on Earth can never even dream of, and so the little puny-ass Earthlings who are just ungrateful as hell decide they want to go up there and have themselves a piece of that pie as well. And so they end up fucking getting, like, the memory chip or some bullshit of, like, some CEO who, like, they're running a coup. It's this whole it's this whole thing, you know? And they go to Elysium, and they become a computer in the end.
Fun fact. The role of our main character, Max, was offered to Eminem before Damon, what's his name? Matt Damon.
Interesting.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I can kind of see it, but...
No, you can't.
Yes, I can't. Well, don't tell me what it can and can't think.
I mean, I can kind of see it. Dylan, what'd you rate this
Fuck you,
movie?
Tanner. I gave it a B+.
Whoa. Jackson, how about you?
I'm at a flat C.
Fantastic. Okay. I think I'm also at a C here. Tanner, you?
I'm in between you three. I'm at a B-.
This checks out. This is exactly what I thought going into the movies this week.
This movie is disappointing because it runs into a long-standing tradition of sci-fi movies where they have kind of an interesting universe. And even, frankly, this one isn't really even that particularly interesting. I mostly just like the interpretation of the future, I suppose. But it's just so fucking paper thin. Like, they just don't really do a crazy amount with the setting, and it just makes it feel very superficial, I suppose. Yeah.
This one's weird too, because like everything about it just lines up like way too perfectly, where it's like, I mean, we gotta do this thing, but oh, thank fucking God that this CEO also had this fucking, all these plans for Elysium just in his head because they're planning on doing this big coup for it, which allows us to like do all this other shit that would have never been possible if it weren't for this, everything lined up exactly as we needed it to.
There's a lot of marked plot convenience. What I think is funny, too, is, like, fucking Matt Damon's, like, the only white guy left in L.A., which I thought was funny. But also, he's already a guy down on his luck. And then they make him even more down on his luck. And then they make him even more down on his luck. Like, they're just, like, continuously making him, like, he's already a guy with nothing left to lose. And then they make him have even less to lose. And then even less to lose. Like, what the fuck did this main character do to deserve this treatment, bro? He's just getting fucked on. And then he dies in the end. He's just getting fucked on the entire movie.
Yeah. This is the sequel to The Last Black Man in San Francisco, The Last White Man in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I suppose I'll speak my piece. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not super confident in my B+. That's just what sounded nice. I agree. This isn't exactly what Nico was saying, I guess, but this movie does kind of ring hollow. There's a lot of things that kind of just happen, and conveniently at that. I do agree with that. The acting is nothing crazy. I'm not even going to fucking lie. The acting's kind of whatever. I agree with Jackson. They set up an interesting-ish world, but don't do a ton with it. And I did kind of find the ending touching, but I did think it was a real kick in the teeth to kill our main character at the end. I have seen this movie before. I don't know if I've seen it in its entirety.
The big thing about the ending for me is it's just so fucking hoity-toity. Oh yeah, man, the big evil fucking utopia up there in the skies withholding medical attention, and they clicked the fucking fix everything button, and now everybody's being healed around the world. Everyone's being nice and chill. Oh my God, I can heal my fucking baby in Africa. Shut the fuck up, bro.
Yeah, it's really fucking stupid in that way, and especially like kind of playing it like, so you know, the whole movie is very obviously like an allegory for like illegal immigration, I guess. Yeah. It's like, oh, you know, you gotta let all of the people into your perfect world because you can just help everyone. And it's so funny watching this, you know, because this came out, what, 2015, I think? 2013, something like that. It's so funny watching this year where you're like, no, your entire central premise for your theme is totally flawed. which is
like,
hilarious.
We see what it did to fucking LA. Why do you want this to happen in the perfect utopia up there? Why is that the good thing?
Yeah, and that ending is just so stupid and contrived. There's the obvious thing where it's like, oh, I guess it's implied they can just help everyone and everything works out, I guess, okay. And then there's like nitpicky stupid stuff like, why do they just have a bunch of like EMT shuttles? Why do those exist?
I do want to point out really quick, when I said the ending is a little touching, I was referring specifically to when Max was talking to What's-Her-Face. I'm not talking about the ending where they could just fucking heal anybody.
I assume that's what you were talking about.
Yeah. My overall thing is, the reason I'm a bit higher than you guys is like, I think this movie aesthetically is pretty cool. I think the action scenes are pretty decent. I like them. I like the sci-fi weapons a decent bit, and the goofiness of the movie actually works for me a bit. But I don't think this is like high art or anything.
I do like the setting of the final fight with like the fucking. It looks like some like sci-fi game with like the massive sprawling factory in the background with the fucking cherry blossoms on that bridge. Yeah. That's cool. That was a cool shot. I do like the interpretation of LA. I think it's interesting. It's like literally what it looks like right now. It's pretty cool. There's a fucking GTR. I think it's the first time we've seen a GTR, aka I own one of those cars. It's my favorite car. We never see those in movies for some reason. But we saw one, and it was all Mad Maxed out, which I thought was fun. It felt so weird. Why was there a GTR in this movie? Why that? Of any car they could have chosen a Mad Max, why a fucking GTR?
Maybe
strange.
The director just really liked him too.
Yeah.
Maybe. It's funny to think that there'd even be a GTR out and about like 100 years, like 150 years or something. When the fuck did this movie take place? It was like 2100 or something?
Oh yeah, the movie
no,
was
like
like
the year the movie is set.
2154.
2064?
Yeah, 2154.
I think it was the year 2121.
2154.
Yeah, I claimed like 140 years after the production of the GTR, there's still one on the street being Mad Maxed out.
Maybe that's the bit. Maybe it's like...
Especially
it's
when flying shuttlecraft exist.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think it's funny. Tanner was talking about... I don't remember exactly what I said, but my thought was, yeah, they're hiding this fucking anti-immigration thing behind, like, all rich people are assholes, and this is why this is evil, we need to... get people all the medical attention for free, which I was like, it's a little bit of an overplayed cliche in my opinion, but whatever.
Yeah, they just put his nurse girlfriend out of a job, dude. She's gonna be homeless now.
Maybe it's for the best, though.
Why is it always cancer, dude? Why is it always they're dedicating their life to saving some kid with cancer? I feel like that's a very common trope.
That is a nitpick, I suppose, that me and Tanner probably share as he takes off his headset and walks away. I'll talk about it anyway. Me and Tanner agreed on this for the most part in the general chat, where it's just kind of like, before that scene, he kind of is like, we see him operate the door, he presses a button, the button closes the door, he presses another button, and that button starts the baking process. So we see that, and then we skip ahead, and it's like, yes, he presses the button to shut the door gets jammed, and his boss is like, fuck it, get in there, we need to get this shit going. And then the boss walks off. I'm like, I feel like this is one of those scenarios where, like, you probably want somebody there to monitor. And then not only does the door shut, but also the baking process starts on its own, even though we saw him need to hit a button to start it before. And then Tanner made the really good point of, like, it's funny that there's a radar sensor in the oven that detects human life, but, like, not an emergency shutoff. And, like, I'm pretty sure on that panel I saw a big red button. If the big red button doesn't mean fucking emergency stop, I don't get what the fuck that was there for.
Yeah. You'd think if it could detect that there's a human in there, it could then automatically shut itself off, but no, it's just like a, hey, by the way, we're killing someone alarm.
Yeah, and they're like, how fast they were to give up on it too. The manager's like, he's already dead, leave him. And it's like, there's gotta be something. Like, I figured it also, like, when he started getting cooked, it like flashed up to the big CEO guy in the office. I thought like an alarm would go off and he had like an option to executively stop what was going on, but no, they just flashed over to the guy for presumably no reason to go back to be like, he's just gonna fucking die, I guess.
Like,
zoinks, we've got a claim on our hands.
Yeah. So that was an interesting portion of the movie I didn't like too much.
Unbelievably unsubtle movie. I'm sticking to my C.
It is incredibly unsubtle. It's like, it knows what it's trying to say and it doesn't fucking hide it at all. It was just kind of boring, too, for the most part. I really just didn't care about much of anything I was watching, and it Yeah, I don't even think Matt Damon really did a particularly good job in it.
No,
and none of the supporting cast was really that strong. So yeah, I'm sticking out my flat C. It's whatever.
I'll stick with my B-.
Yeah, I've been convinced, and after looking over my movie rankings again, B- makes sense to. I almost put it in C+, but I think I'll put it in B- for now.
And it lands at a C+ overall.
Whoa.
Guys, I watched this movie without subtitles. It was pretty fucking cool.
And that's why you rated it higher than us, because you,
Probably.
Didn't understand what was happening.
Yeah.
Well, what can I say, man? I'm a cultured guy.